putting money back in the community to help with education and health. Hello.
Yeah, thank you. Hey everybody, this is Hayden.
And I'm Kristen.
And we're coming at you from the hangar to tell you about this month's passport for March. What month is it, aside from being March?
It is Women's History Month. Wow! So excited. I'm so excited. We've been, again, we plan ahead. We tend to get a few months out for our coffees. We've been waiting for this one for what it is, but also we're just really excited about it because it's just a really good coffee. And
yeah, this one just kind of checks like all the boxes from just being a really good freaking coffee, as well as the story behind it. We're gonna get into that a little bit because this is from a special origin from the Congo. This coffee is called Kolwe.
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 And it is from Idjwi Island, which is right off the coast. Most coffees from the Congo are around Lake Kivu. That's a very good region. Actually, our coffee from Rwanda a few months back was actually bordering Lake Kivu. But this one doesn't. This one is on an island, and it actually is known for its coffee processing. And what's really beautiful about this, it is a co-op run solidly by women, just completely run by women, and it's putting back into the community.
The Democratic Republic of the Congo has had a lot of issues for a long period of time. One of them just being an incredible amount of socioeconomic discrimination against women, especially in the realm of coffee. Worldwide, from seed to cup, coffee tends to be a male-dominated industry, but in a situation or in a place like the Congo, it has been viewed mostly as a man's crop. So for a long period of time, the majority of recent history, women just recently haven't been allowed to work in coffee, despite it being a main source of income for a lot of the region. Especially with this island in Lake Kivu, coffee tends to be the most sold crop that they have, but even then they still have difficulty selling it. So the fact that we're working with a co-op who is working so intently with the community, with the women in that community, to build a stronger network of economic and social connections, we're just really excited to have this coffee.
What makes me happy, the co-op is literally called Rebuilding Women's Hope. So it, one, gets women in the field and in the industry, which means women are allowed to, one, work and to collect a reasonable and fair wage. Not to mention then it puts money back into the community for women's education, women's health, and I remember reading this the first time and I just was crying in the corner. I'm still just crying on this. We're keeping it in today. What else? We're missing stuff. Oh, it's a wash coffee, lest I forget the processing method for this coffee.
Mildly important detail.
Tiny bit, which again results in a cleaner cup, but this is a double fermentation, which results in, it's again still a clean cup, but it has a little bit more punchiness behind it, but not, you know, the same as a natural cup. But what else?
It's delicate and complex.
Yes, well, as most women are. But it warms my heart to know that there is progress moving forward for women in this field, because nothing brings me more joy than seeing that.
And this co-op has done quite a bit. Not only have they focused on empowering women economically and financially, they've given them a lot of resources to sustain their economics, as well as built, as Kristen was saying, a lot of health resources. They've built a hospital for both maternity and a pediatrics hospital. Which
is fantastic because, again, this island wasn't known for, they had produced coffee, but there wasn't a name for the coffee that was being produced, and this co-op did change that. There are 5 washing stations to process said coffee.
And there's a lot of great things about this co-op that we're just like starting to remember right now, because we're both
It's a very long list. It's a very long list. It's just like, how can we fit all of this into one small video? We can't. You're probably gonna get multiple posts this month of why we love this coffee so much, and it's just spam, loving spam. But yeah, and this was another one that we also struggled to find tasting notes for, because it was when we'd agree, then it would change the next day. We were dialing in different like sample profiles as well, trying to like extract just the right notes from it. We're like, hold on, and we finally stumbled upon something.
This was one that we struggled a lot with, not only to create like a proper dialogue of what flavors we're getting into it, but also just how we're gonna roast this coffee. A lot of coffees from this area in Africa tend to have just some pretty unique flavors they don't really get from many other regions of the world. And they can be kind of finicky to dial in properly. So we did, how many test roasts have we done with this? Sample roasts. We probably did like...
At least a dozen, if not like 15 or 16. It was probably three different profiles that we were constantly tweaking those. We have one original one that we were tweaking that. It got very complicated and very, very, very caffeinated, very, 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 very fast.
But thankfully we figured out how to talk about this coffee, how to roast this coffee. When we brought it onto the big roaster, everything went seamlessly. And we're just really, really excited about this coffee through and through, both for the story behind it as well as what's gonna be in our cup. Cheers. Ooh. We brewed this coffee a little bit ago, so it's just cooled down a little bit. So it's still plenty warm, but as this coffee cools, it really opens up, being a little bit of a fresher roast. But I think it's really hitting everything we were talking about.
Yes.
First thing I get right off the bat more than anything else, a lot of deep amber honey. Honey that's usually later in the season that has a much fuller, richer color. That's kind of like what's coming to the forefront. Really, really sweet, has a nice developed sweetness to it.
We'd struggled with floral and or herbaceous notes. A lot of coffees from the Congo tend to have a very good floral note. We had one in the past that had a very distinct like white floral. And we started with that, but again, as the roasts progressed, it was something different entirely. So we settled on alpine herbs, which is a very interesting blend of, if we wanted to pinpoint, like we could pick out like thyme flower or thyme. There's a few others as well.
There's a little bit, yeah. There's thyme, some oregano blossom, a little bit of lavender.
Elderflower.
Elderflower. Basically, we came across the term of like alpine herbs really just because there was a lot going on and we couldn't really pinpoint one specific herb or one specific floral note. And once we kind of thought about it, I was like, yeah, that just kind of like tastes how it tastes. It tastes like mountain herbs. Honestly, if you've ever had a Ricola, the throat lozenge, I know this is a hard sell right now. Trust me, it tastes a lot better than a Ricola throat lozenge.
Well, no, it's the honey one, and the honey ones are candy.
Yeah, exactly. So we got like this really kind of like hard candy, honey sweetness, and a lot of just really nice herbaceousness that didn't sit in one specific category. And we're like, oh, this kind of tastes a little bit familiar, but in a much better way, trust me. I know I'm really selling this a lot, like, it's really, really good.
He said it, this was about 7:30 in the morning, and he says that, I'm like, I can't unhear that, but you are correct. Can we narrow that down? No, okay, alpine herbs it is then, because it just, alpine herbs is very much the picture you would think. It is the Swiss Alps with all these beautiful herbs just floating in the breeze.
Mm-hmm. Very, very pleasant. Not harsh, not heavy. It's not like a heavy green vegetal note at all. It's very refreshing and it complements the honey note very, very much.
Very beautifully. The last note that we have on here, actually, it definitely comes through on this roast, and it took a while. We got it once on the sample roast, we're like, we know it's there. But getting acidity out of a roast isn't as cut and dry as you might think. It has a lot of tiny factors that go into that. But Riesling. So a nice kind of semi-dry white wine. So on a lot of our cupping sheets, we have had like white grape or white grape juice, but we did think that it had that complexity of Riesling.
Yeah, a little bit more, not literally effervescent, but a little more bubbly on the palate. Light, slick, just a little bit more character than grape juice or white grape juice. Not quite as intricate as like a white currant. And once we kind of settled on Riesling, it was just like, clicked, that was it, cut and dry.
We like using wine as a tasting note.
Yeah. So all in all, it's got like a really nice sweetness up front, really bright acidity, and that herbaceousness in the middle just comes right through it to kind of balance everything out. It honestly starts out a little bit heavy, and then by the time you finish swallowing it, it lightens up a lot, and it's just a super refreshing cup of coffee.
I'm actually really excited to get this on a flash brew.
Yeah. So like when we let this coffee like age a little bit, everything is pretty fresh right now, but like mid-month, honestly, If you order this as a flash brew, it'll probably be pretty nice. If it ends up sucking, we didn't say that. But it is right in time for spring. Right now, it's the, March 2nd. Forecast is going to be 60 later in the week, so this will be a perfect welcome to spring. So don't forget to stop by the cafe, grab a cup of this, snag a bag, and if you want to, you can also subscribe to our passport program. It's easy to do so online, and if you do that, you'll get a little passport book like this, and every month you'll get a little passport stamp, so you can travel the globe with coffee with us. What else is coming down the line?
We are approaching our 1 year of doing the passport program, which is a big deal. Passport-versary.
So April is going to be the 12th month of the passport program, and we got some cool stuff coming around. We're not going to say what that is just yet, but we're really excited about it. We think you guys are going to really, really love it. So yeah.
Is there anything else you wanted to say?
That's about it.
Okay. Well, on that note, from our nerdy hearts to your cups.
Cheers.
Enjoy.